All right, welcome to another amazing episode of The Money Pillow. And today I'm super excited to bring to you my good friend Alejandro Portela, who is the CEO, president, and founder and janitor of Alejandro Portela Apps. And Alejandro is 26 years old, lives in Vigo, Spain, one of the smartest young guys I know. We've been connected for a while online for many years now, actually, and it's been really cool. I've seen him kind of switch industries and get into what he's doing now, which is creating iPhone apps. And in a short period of time, Alejandro has created a tremendous business that he works literally just a few hours a week and makes more in a month than, well, I'm not even going to get into it. This is actually the second time we're doing this interview because Alejandro is a pretty private person. I had to pin him down to get this interview. And when we finally did, we did a whole hour-long interview, and Alejandro contacted me afterwards and said, you know what, I really don't want all the personal income information out there, so can we redo it? So that's what we're redoing it, and I respect that, and it's private, but just know he's killing it. And I want to say so bad how much you're making because it's just such a ridiculous figure, and I think people get excited by it, but I won't. So we'll just leave it at that. Did I say too much there? Is that okay?
That's good. I'm sorry.
No, you're fine. I respect the fact that you're private, and I know this was a big deal for you to kind of come on and do this, so I was happy to redo it and had no implications. So again, if you're listening, just know Alejandro has created these iPhone apps that he's, just crushing it right now. I wish I could give some sort of indication as to how well, but just know that this guy is doing phenomenal. He has some really great apps. They are kind of in this order, not really in any particular order, but Cool Fonts, which is a font app where you can type in any kind of text you want and then select a different kind of font that most web browsers and devices recognize, so you can kind of get creative with your messaging online. He has Emojizer, which was, I think, his first app, and it's an emoji app. And what that is little characters that you see in text messages like smiley faces or turtles or frogs or lightning bolts or whatever. He has Symbolizer, Instalikes. And I'm not sure what Symbolizer is. We can talk about that. Instalikes is an iPhone app for, in fact, these are all iPhone apps for Instagram to help users get more likes. And it's kind of cool. It does some pretty cool things where it takes a photo and adds some overlays that get increased engagement. And then he has Textizer, which I'm not really sure what that one does either. But these 5 apps are kind of his core. These are all free apps, I believe. Maybe one is paid now. And then he has about close to a dozen other paid versions of these apps available. So, what's that?
Not so many, but
I thought you had 10 paid versions roughly, or
I think I'm around 12 total or 15.
In total. Okay, so you've got a handful of apps, and the thing I think that's super impressive about this, and we'll kind of uncover in the story, is that Alejandro, first of all, does not know how to code an iPhone app to save his life. Doesn't know anything about code. That was not a barrier that did not stop him. And then the other cool thing, I think, is that he just got started in 2012. Here we are, mid-2013. And he's built this business that has pretty much no customer service, no fulfillment, and just does extremely well, and it's pretty hands off. I mean, you really don't have to do very much. Your work is, his work really just involves creative ways to promote the app and marketing for the app, and then creating new apps and fixing bugs on older apps and whatnot. But I think in the last interview we uncovered that he works roughly about 10 hours a week, if that, and if he didn't want to work, he could just take off. So I'm super impressed by you. Was that a fair enough intro?
Yeah, I think so.
Okay. All right.
Very cool.
Was that all true and accurate?
Very true.
Okay. All right. Very cool. So tell me, Alejandro, how did you get your start? And actually, when did you get the idea to start building iPhone apps?
The first time that I came across this business thing that's iPhone apps, making iPhone apps, was when I saw someone promoting a training course online. I was subscribed to some email list from one of these marketers, and he was promoting a course on how to make money with iPhone apps. And I didn't actually buy the course. I just saw the videos, like the promo videos and stuff, and I thought that was interesting. So I gave it a try on my own.
That piqued your curiosity. And when was this?
Yeah. I think this was last year, probably January 2012.
So in the beginning of 2012. Okay. And so you saw somebody promoting a product or a course on how to build iPhone apps, and the videos that you saw were pretty intriguing. And so you said, you know what, I'm going to give this a try. And didn't you go to odesk.com?
Yeah, right away. I was familiar with Odesk to hire freelancers and programmers and stuff. So I just went there and searched for iPhone programmer or coder, I don't remember. And I found a guy. I posted a job first, though, saying, I have this idea for an iPhone app. It's very, very simple. I only want to invest $200. And, like the next day, I got a reply by a Russian guy, 19-year-old, that said he could do it in a couple of days. So I hired him, and in a week I had my first app ready to.
Yeah, and so for those of you guys that don't know, Odesk is just a marketplace where you can find developers and coders and more of the technical outsourced type of folks. And you went and ran an ad, and I think we talked yesterday. You said, I'm just going to put it at $200, see what happens. You didn't think anybody would respond. You got multiple responses. And in Odesk, you can go and actually look at people's ratings, reviews, profiles, and actually see other work that they've done. So you felt comfortable hiring this guy, and hell, for $200, it's not much of a risk. So you said, screw it. Yeah. And how long was this from the time you ran this ad and paid it, from the time you got the idea? Was this a week, a night, a day, a month?
Well, I got the idea one night playing with my phone, like texting a friend, and I was going through the emojis, and I thought, hey, I want to create an alphabet using the emojis as letters. So a banana would look like an L, the saxophone was a J or whatever. So I created an alphabet, and this was like in a day. And I sent that to my programmer and said, hey, make an input and output text thing where you convert all the text to emojis. And he did it. It was like, I don't know, the first weekend he did it. And I just paid the developer program for Apple, which is like $100 a year. I paid that, and I think it took me 2 weeks to get the app approved when I submitted it. So in less than a month, I had my app making money already.
So mid-January, you had no iPhone apps, weren't even on your radar.
No.
So I think this is so fascinating how fast your world can change. And I think you saw these videos at the end of January. You got excited about the potential, and by the end of February, you had your app in iTunes approved. Is that right?
Yeah.
It's funny, just to get on iTunes, it costs you half as much as the app, which I think is kind of a riot. So you're out $300 at this point. Whatever, no big deal. Let's give it a shot. And you launch it on iTunes, and you shot up to #1 in the iTunes store, right? Like the first day.
Not really.
Yeah. What happened? What was that first day, first week, first month like?
I think I launched it, my first app, I launched it as a paid app for $1. And I was not getting a lot of downloads, but I knew that if you change the price to free, you get a lot of buzz and a lot of people to, because there's a lot of blogs that track all this price changes and stuff.
Sure.
And notify their users. And so when I changed it to free, it got really popular. I think it got really popular right away in Italy for some reason. I think there was an Italian blog that blogged about it, and it got a lot of buzz, and it climbed the rankings there, and it was doing really, really good.
So prior to changing it for free, how long were you? So you originally submitted it, and it was what, $1, $2, $3?
Yeah, it was $1.
$1.
And I was getting, maybe 12 downloads a day from my friends or something.
So you were making $12 a day?
Yeah.
Oh, that's pretty good.
Minus 30% that Apple takes.
Sure. Okay, so you were making
But,
$8 a day roughly.
yeah,
And is that right? No, that's really bad math. Is that right? No, that's right.
whatever.
Yeah, around $8 a day, and it was mainly your friends. So your first month, you were making $8 a day, roughly, or was it like $1 a day, or $2 a day, or?
I think it was only paid for like a few days, and
Oh,
I changed
okay.
it to free.
Okay.
Yeah.
And I think we said yesterday
Yeah.
you made like $20 while it was while it was up. Wait, did you envision this being successful right away and were disappointed by the results, or did you just have no expectations, or?
No, I mean, I guess I was lucky to get it featured in a blog early on, like, and see that the actual potential. Because I was getting like 4,000 free downloads. I was not making money, maybe a few cents from ads and stuff, but I saw that it was a powerful lead generation machine. You know, if you can get 4,000 new users every day, even if you're not making money, you can.
There's some value
monetize
there.
it somehow,
Yeah.
you know?
Yeah, for sure. And through advertisements
That's
displaying
right.
on the app or
Yeah.
whatever. Okay, so let me get this straight. Your first 2 days, you made $20 roughly, $15, and then you switched it to free. And would you recommend that strategy, launching something at a price and then switching it to free later?
Well, that's what I do normally. I don't think it does much anymore. Like
It doesn't
before.
make as big of a deal. Okay.
No, but you get a little bit more traction, I guess.
Okay.
Like some people do, like launch an app for $8, like something ridiculous like that, and within 30 minutes they do the price change. So it
Because-
goes to the top of the price list in all these apps. Websites that track price drops. You know,
Got it.
that's one of the best savings or whatever. But I don't know if that is very useful or not. Why
Yeah,
not
because
do it,
people
you
are
know?
kind of gaming the system and just to
Yeah.
get that attention, and so there's not as much value placed on it. I get it. Okay, so tell me this. So your first month you had it out there, we've established in the first couple of days you reduced the cost to free, and it got picked up by an Italian blog, became really popular in Italy. You were generating roughly 4,000 downloads a day. Is it fair to say you had somewhere between 50 to 100,000 downloads that first month?
It could be. I don't know exactly, but I think it was less because I made a mistake of changing the category of the app, and that reset all the rankings. And for some reason, it stopped getting downloads.
Got it.
'Cause, you know, all this 4,000 downloads that I was getting was because the app was in the top 10. I think it was social networking or something like that in Italy.
Right.
And when I changed it to utilities, it disappeared. Nobody could see it in the top 10 there.
So you went
Yeah, it
from
was
several thousand downloads a day to like 30 probably.
Yeah, something like that.
Oh, how
So,
depressing. That's a tough
Yeah.
lesson to learn. You should have bought that course, and it would have saved you from doing that. I'm sure they would have talked about that in there. But anyway,
Whatever.
you learn the hard way. So, okay,
Yeah.
so then what happens? Because, I mean,
Yeah, I changed it again to paid to $1, I think. And
uh-huh.
I was getting a few. I mean, I think it was getting like $30 or $20 a day, like 30 downloads maybe.
Did you have to do any more marketing, or was that just kind of a natural progression?
Well, I emailed a lot of blogs to review the app and stuff, but since because it was so simple, I guess nobody wanted to review it or look into it, and they all thought it was just another emoji app because there's tons of emoji apps that don't do anything, just enable your emojis on your phone. But mine is actually kind of cool because it uses like an alphabet thing, so nobody gave it the attention it deserved.
Nobody gave it any love, so that didn't really help. So you switched it back to $1. What is this, at the end of a month, roughly?
Yeah, it could be.
Okay, you start making $20 a day, roughly.
20 to 30, I guess.
And then what happened? Was it just cruising along at that level for a few months, or?
Well, then right away I decided that I needed a free app because I knew that all the users were into getting. I mean, you could get a lot of users if you have a free app,
Right.
but you cannot monetize it that well. The free app back in the day, like how do you monetize a free app? without ads. Like ads back in the day, they were paying like cents per click. That's not enough.
It's so
So
funny. It's so funny to me that you keep saying back in the day, and this is like
no,
a year
it
ago.
takes a lot. If you're in
But
this
it's how
business, you'll see that everything changes really fast.
so fast. Yeah. But isn't it funny to think that back in the day means a year and a half ago?
Yeah, it was interesting too because, for example, back in the day, even before I started, like if you had a free app and it was listed in the top 10 for some reason, if you can get a free app in the top 10 and you change it to pro to paid, it would keep the rankings. It would still be in the top whatever for some reason. It was like a glitch. So that's when a lot of people made money because it was easier to rank in the free and then move to paid and then make tons of money. It's
Wow.
crazy. But then that doesn't work anymore.
That's all changed. Yeah. Okay. So you realized you needed a free app. And at that point, that's when you launched
Symbolize.
Symbolizer. Yeah. And where are we now? Is that 2 months in, 3 months in?
That's 2 months in.
2 months
I
in. So,
launched Emojizer in February, and this is April.
okay. Oh, you have notes there. Good. You came prepared today. I was just getting ready to write these down so we could track this timeline. So in April, you say, okay, I need another app to feed people in. And my question I get when I'm thinking through this is why not just create a free version of Emojizer that has an in-app, purchase?
Okay. I don't think I knew about in-app purchases back in the day, or I didn't want to do it because it was complicated.
Got it.
So
So you just thought I'll create a second app and then
yeah.
use that to push people over to the other app that's paid.
Yeah.
Got it.
So I did a bit of research into this font thingy, and I found out that you could do like fonts upside down and stuff like that, and it would show up everywhere, like on Twitter, Facebook. It works everywhere, even
Right.
on text messages. So I said, okay, instead of emojis, I'm gonna do fonts and then cross promote to my emoji font app. So I made Symbolizer, which lets you type upside down with letters inside circles and stuff like that. It's cool if you want to check it out.
It is a
And
cool
then
app.
there was like another button next to the upside down circles or whatever. There was another button that had emojis, and when you click there, it would say, "Oh, this is my premium app, Emojizer. It lets you type with emojis. If you want to check it out, go to the App Store." And there was a link there.
Got it.
So
And
it
people
was
would,
like cross promoting. And if I was getting tons of downloads for free, some of them would convert. They would want to try the emoji font.
got it. So we're in April now. You launched Symbolizer. How does Symbolizer do in the App Store? Does it climb the rankings? Is it, how
Oh
did?
yeah,
Yeah.
Symbolizer is one of my best apps in terms of downloads right now. I think I'm at around 1.6 million, which is pretty good.
Is that a dog?
Yeah, I'm sorry.
You're fine. Well, there's some dog lovers out there, so I won't say anything. So I'm teasing you. So you launched it, climbed the ranks, and what was did you do some creative things to promote it with that, or more marketing this time? They got it to rise up, or was it just such a great app that people, naturally, organically it rose up?
Well, I started doing like promotion on Twitter, and I knew that promoting a paid app was going to be more expensive than promoting a free app. Because
Sure.
you promote something and it's paid, like a lot of people are going to see it, but they're not going to buy it.
Right.
So I would rather promote the Symbolizer one with the upside down. Like I would go on Twitter and tweet, jokes and funny stuff with the upside down font and say, oh, if you want to get this font or tweet like this, get Symbolizer free on the App Store.
And
And a lot of
people
did that.
were seeing that and probably like, how did he do that? Yeah, I get it.
Retweeting and stuff like that.
Oh, that's great. So you end up, how well did that app do? You launched in April. By, what were the downloads like the first month?
I don't remember, but probably like 1,000 to 2,000 a day.
So it did well.
Yeah, it did really well. It was not making a lot of money because, again, I was using cost per click advertising, which pays a few cents. If you're familiar with iAds, which is what you normally see, banners that Apple serve. But then, a lot of people would convert to Emojizer, so it was worth it.
It was paying. Okay. So
Yeah.
by the beginning of May, and you're comfortable with talking about your money when you were making peanuts, right?
Yeah, yeah.
Okay. So by
It was not peanuts to me, peanuts. But
well, what I mean, when you launched
compared to now,
I know. Prior to launching Symbolizer, you were making, what did we establish? How much a day? $20 a day, roughly.
yeah, 30, 20. Yeah.
It's still $1,000 a month. Not bad for the amount of work you're putting in, probably. But peanuts in comparison. So you launched Symbolizer. It's generating a couple thousand downloads a day. A month after it's out, has your income doubled now? Are you at $60 a day, $70 a day, or?
Yeah, that's accurate.
Yeah. Okay. So now you're making some progress. You're like, all right, I can.
I think some weekends when I would promote heavier, like with Twitter and Facebook and Instagram and everything, I would get to like $100 or $110, and I was like, oh wow, if I can get this every day, I'm gonna be rich.
And it's funny now because again, well, it pales in comparison. So okay, this is great, man. So here we are, beginning of May. You're making, how long did this go on for? Was this the Symbolizer feeding into Emojizer and growing? Did it continue to grow, or did you have to do something new to get it, like a new app to come out, or?
Well, that what I focused for a while, like promoting Symbolizer because it was cheap in a way, in social media. Like if you promote Symbolizer, you get 2 downloads for one because most of the time people would get the paid one.
They'll go buy it. Okay.
Yeah. So then I think around April, May, I got addicted to Instagram, and I would go there every day and stuff. So because of my background, which we didn't talk about, before doing apps, I was doing YouTube marketing, like how to get more views and more subscribers and everything. So when I saw Instagram, I'm like, okay, I got to do what I was doing with YouTube for people on Instagram. Like I need to get people more likes on their photos and more exposure and everything. So I had the idea for this app, InstaLikes, that I made, which gives you more likes on your photos.
Where are we? Are we in June 2012 at this point?
InstaLikes was August.
August. I knew it.
Yeah.
I knew it. We argued over this yesterday, but I remember being in Santa Barbara and actually downloading it when I had just moved in August. So you started in February, late February, right? Is that what we said?
Yeah.
And now here we are in August. Prior to launching InstaLikes, you've gotten your income up to $75 to $80 a day, roughly on average. Not bad. Like you're making some progress, and at this point too, you're probably just getting really excited about the business model because there's no fulfillment, there's no customer service, and the only thing you're really doing is marketing a little bit by tweeting some stuff out and Instagramming stuff. Okay, so very cool. So you get the idea. All right, if I can create an app that helps people get more attention on Instagram, this is a good one. So you create that and launch that in August, right? Mm-hmm. Yeah. And I remember this is a great time. Okay, so you launch it in August, and what happened then? I think this app kind of did blow up, right?
Yeah, this app was free, but it was my first try with in-app purchases, so people can buy stuff inside the app. So again, I was promoting a free app, but people would pay. Some people would pay to upgrade it,
Right.
And that was like kind of eye-opening in a sense because I didn't know this was possible. So I tried it and it worked. And now I had Symbolizer and InstaLikes, and they were both getting tons of downloads. And I was cross-promoting both of them, because on InstaLikes I was promoting Symbolizer because you can type upside down on your Instagram captions or descriptions. It's kind of related in a way.
Yeah, they work well together. Yeah.
Yeah, if you want to, or change your bio or profile description and make it cooler. This is all for kids normally. Like if you see my analytics, I have some analytics software in my apps, and it's normally like 14 to 16-year-old girls that use my app, which is interesting.
It makes sense. So I'm like that one 35 to 45-year-old male that downloaded it. Yeah. That's great. All right. So how funny. So you launched Instalikes, and so now you're having kind of an app network, if you will, and you're able to kind of promote everything. They all work really well together. Makes sense. And did Instalikes? I know you did a lot of like you were already on Instagram a lot, so you're doing a lot of marketing on Instagram, a lot of marketing on Twitter for it. And how you launched this in August? Was it the beginning of August, middle of August, end of August? Do you remember?
2nd of August.
2nd of August. You launch. Yeah. What happened with that one? Did it blow up?
Yeah, it was getting a few thousand, like a couple, 3,000 downloads a day.
It was, and it was a really viral app by nature, because when users would post to Instagram, people were like, "How did you do that? What app is that?" Or they would say they used it. In fact, yesterday when we were talking, I searched the hashtag Instalikes, and it had Instalikes app, yeah, and it had over 175,000, I think, people, and almost every one of them, like I'd say 90% were actually photos from your app, which on Instagram a lot of users will just use hashtags that they know people look at, even if it's not related. But this was very related. So you've done well. So that's getting 2,000-3,000 downloads a day. It has in-app purchases, and my question is this: for the in-app purchases, what are conversion likes? Is it like one sale for every 1,000 downloads, or?
Yeah, it's very, very, very bad. It's like 1%, 2%, something like that.
Oh, it's not too bad.
It depends on how you get your users,
Sure.
Like some people just go for the free and they will never upgrade to anything. So you got to get creative with that, like how to monetize people that are going to just, get your app and never pay. So that's how I thought about changing my ad network strategy from cost per click to something different. And that really, really worked to monetize people that will never buy anything,
because you were attracting the right people at this point.
Yeah.
So what? So 1% to 2%. That's really not bad. And I imagine, those numbers grew the more people had it installed on their phone, because maybe the 5th time they used it, they said, "Oh, fine, I'll buy the paid version." So you probably saw your income ramp up. That first month. So the month of August, you remember roughly how many downloads it had? Was it 100,000, 50,000?
No, I don't remember, but I remember that it got ranked really well, I think in the US. That's where I only focus on the US market with my apps. Like I only try to rank in the US. I don't even look at the ranks in other countries. But
and why is that?
It got ranked. I don't know. It's because it's just smaller in other countries. And I know if you can get an app ranked in the US, like all the other countries should follow, because if the big blogs talk about it, or, if you're staying in the top for a while, like all the other countries are going to
follow suit. Yeah. Then I think the US is one of the biggest markets. So if it is the biggest market, and if you can get to the top there, usually everywhere else follows suit.
And because I just don't want to work too much, That's basically it.
What do you mean by that? I mean, I know what you mean by not working too much, but how does that relate to the ranking in the U.S.?
I mean, if I put like 8 hours a day, like I would be crushing it.
You already are crushing it, yeah.
I know, I am, but
I
try to do like, when I was in college, I would just study enough to pass my exams. I wouldn't go for grades or anything. I just wanted to just get it over with and, get on with my life and have fun. And
enjoy life. Yeah, that's what I love about you, man. But the funny thing is you're adapting that same mentality to business now, and you are earning more revenue than most people can ever fathom making in a month. So I just still can't believe it. So let's keep focused on this timeline here. So at the end of August, what's revenues look like at that point? And again, we're not getting anywhere near the big one. So if you feel comfortable telling.
So yeah, I think when I launched Instalikes, like I tripled or quadrupled my income there. So I was making like $300-400 a day, which was crazy by the time.
Yeah, because just a couple months ago, you were thinking if I could just make $100 a day, how great would this be?
Yeah. and because I was getting downloads for Instalex and people buy the pro version, but I was only also promoting Symbolizer through the app, so everything was connected, and I was
cross promoting. Yeah. And
yeah.
have you hit 1 million by the end of August? Have you hit 1 million installs for your 3 apps in combination, roughly?
Probably, I think so.
So you, not only are you making $300-400 a day at this point, you've built a audience of 1 million, which is there's a lot of value in that. Okay, so okay,
definitely the first 9 months I did that.
Within 9
months,
months,
not bad. It was just the strategy of combining everything together into a network, like linking everything. So when you get one download somewhere, because all my apps are in different categories, so I have a chance to rank in photography and lifestyle, social networking. And if one of the apps gets ranked into the top 10, all those people are going to see my other apps, because they're like cross-promoted inside.
Which then helps the other apps rank higher, which then brings them back. Yeah, that's brilliant. Okay. So, and at this point, you're doing well. So what, September, pretty similar to August, just continue along? Or did it continue to grow? Or
the thing is that October, I did another app, another free app to put it in a different category. It was just a reskin of Symbolizer, so it was another font app. But
and when you say reskin, you took the look and feel of Symbolizer and just redid it.
Yeah, exactly. Because I wanted to keep my developing costs low.
Yeah, in fact, we didn't talk about that, but you spent a couple $100 on your first app. And I know, I mean, we can just cut to the chase. I don't think you've spent more than a couple grand developing any of your apps. Is that accurate?
Yeah, that's accurate.
And actually, that's not even just development. That includes bug fixes and everything, right?
Yeah.
New versions.
Under $1,000. Yeah.
Wow. And you didn't even have to do the coding yourself. So, unbelievable.
So I think the way I think about apps is a lot of people have this crazy ideas of huge apps that,
like me,
like you. But if you fail, you're like, what do I do now? So why not start with a small app that costs you a couple $100 and start getting users, and then you can cross promote. You can send push notifications or whatever you want to use to tell all this user base. If you can get 1 million downloads for an easy app, and then tell all those guys to get your new app. That's what I did to get my Instalex ranked.
As you went and told the Emojizer and the Symbolizer people, hey, we've got this brand new app. Go download it.
If you're on Instagram and want more likes, just go and get it.
Yeah.
And a lot of people do that.
Beautiful. Okay, so moving along, September, October, you launched a new version of Symbolizer with a different Textizer. With a different look and feel to it.
Yeah.
And
different category.
Similar success as Instalex?
Yeah. Because it was like, if you like Symbolizer and want more fonts, get Textizer. So it was, again, cross-promoting there.
And using...
There was also a button to go to Emojizer, the paid one. So I was getting more sales for Emojizer there. And the ranks on Emojizer. I think by then I got Emojizer into the top 10 social networking, and it was there for months, for like 8 months. Emojizer was in the top 10 paid social networking.
Wow,
category.
And that's huge. Yeah, that'll generate a lot of revenue.
It's not a lot of sales, but it's good enough. Well, it's good money, I guess. Like paid... People think, paid numbers is way less than free. So to get into the top 100 overall, you need way less downloads.
In paid, yeah.
Free. Yeah. It's completely different.
On that note, I know this varies and changes a lot, but to get into the top 100 free apps, what is that, like a 500 downloads a day? Roughly, to get in the top 100, 1,000? Do you know?
No. To get in the top 100 overall, I would say you need around maybe 8-10,000 a day.
8 to 10,000 downloads a day.
I think so. I think to get into the top 50, it's around 25,000. It depends.
What about top 10?
Top 10, I think they're saying right now it's about like 70,000.
70. Okay, which is not too bad. Okay. I mean, it sounds like a lot, but
I'm not sure though. Like it varies. Every week is different.
well, and you have some experience with this, which we'll get into. Okay.
Yeah, there's an infographic somewhere that talks about like all the different. You can probably search in Google and you'll find it. It's an infographic that tells you how many downloads you need to rank on the App Store for different categories.
Oh, really?
Cool.
Yeah. You know what? I am going to search that. Let me make a note of that because that's good information to know.
I think I might have it more. Yeah, you can put it in the notes.
Okay. Very cool. So September, October, you're cruising along, doing pretty well, $300-400 a day. Or did that income, so when you launched, you were making $300-400 a day, did that income slowly climb as the app was out there and people were using it more and more people were deciding to upgrade?
Yeah, I think because it was Christmas season, like holidays and everything. And in Christmas, everything goes up like crazy because more people have new devices and they have more time. They're home and they're bored and they're like, I see it, for example, my numbers change every day of the week. Like on Sundays, people are like tired and they're home and they're trying new apps and they're telling their friends or whatever. So I see the highest amount of downloads on Sundays.
Wow.
Which is cool. But also, in Easter, if you do some promotions, it's obviously more, but Easter, Christmas, and everything.
Basically, when people are home and probably bored and tired of talking to their family.
It's crazy how much it goes up. So, I think around November, I hit my first $1,000 day.
You did?
Which
okay.
Was crazy.
This is in November? And was this from did you launch a new app at this point, or you still have Emojizer?
Yeah. Textizer, Symbolizer, and Installite.
Okay. Those four. Okay, so $1,000 a day. Was that a typical day, or was that just like a big day where you did a lot of promotion and got it way up there?
I think I got one of the apps ranked, and I don't remember exactly, but
this is around Christmas.
Around Christmas, before Christmas. In Christmas, I had another couple $1,000 days, but then it goes down. It would be like a Sunday, for example, that everything goes up, but then it slows down. But you still get a good amount of extra downloads on these low days, like Monday and Tuesday, when everyone's in school.
Got it. And so we're up to Christmas now. You have the 4 apps out, and I think this is the point we have to stop talking about the income. This is where you go from.
I can say, like, if you count Christmas time and you do an average of all the months and everything, I think it's at around $6,000 a month that I made the first 9 months. The 9 months of my business.
Yeah, which is unbelievable. And then everything changed. And that is, well, I'm not even going to go there out of respect for you. And you're don't say sorry. I'm just trying to emphasize to the listeners how well you're actually doing. And that's as much as I'll say. So, excuse me. So Christmas passes and you get your next idea for cool fonts at some point between Christmas and now. When was that?
January? That was March 8th.
March 8th. And cool fonts is...
it's a combination of all of them and even more fonts. It's like instead of just a few fonts, you can get like 20 or 20-something fonts.
Okay.
And they're all new and cool, and it's related to the other apps. And it even lets you create like a quote, or some people would post songs or lyrics or whatever, and it would make it with a cool background to post on Instagram or Facebook. So it's related to Instax and the other font apps and Emojizer and everything.
Got it.
And this one is like everything I learned from my other apps I put together. I had the in-app purchases. I had the better ad network, like better banners and everything. And I was making good money, but also for the people that would never pay for the upgrade, I was monetizing them through the ads. So it was like around 50-50 people that pay and people that.
So half your revenue was coming from ads that were being served up, and these are display ads, so it doesn't matter if they click or not, or if they do click, you get paid. Okay.
You only get paid if they click and install one of the apps that are advertised.
Oh, got it. So okay, so half your revenue was coming from that, half was coming from the in-app purchases, and this was in March, right?
Yeah.
And this one blew up. You used your existing app network, which at the time you launched Cool Fonts, how many installs did you have on the other 4 apps? Was it around a couple million?
I think it was around a couple million.
Yeah, and I remember you chatted me on Facebook right before you launched Cool Fonts, and a company in San Francisco wanted you to fly out and talk to you and was basically making you a 7-figure offer to buy your company. Is that right?
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
I remember you... What's that?
It's kind of accurate. Yeah.
Yeah.
I went there and we talked about it, but I was not sure about selling and they were not sure about, because, the trends were looking good. And I'm like, okay, I have this other apps, I have Cool Fonts, and I have more stuff in the making. And I think the valuation right now is not what it's the real valuation. So we never came to an agreement there.
But it was a substantial deal, and I remember you saying to me over chat, and you're like, "Dude, I'm 25, and $1 million is a lot of money." And I'm like, "But dude, you just got started a year ago, and look at where you're going to be. Imagine where you're going to be a year from now." And I think you'd have to sign a non-compete and potentially work for them, and you ended up not doing that deal, which I think was probably one of the smartest decisions you ever made. Because shortly thereafter, you launched Cool Fonts. And I think, are you close to a couple million installs prior to the launch of Cool Fonts?
Yeah, I think so.
Yeah.
Between Instax and Symbolizer and Textizer, I was close to 2 million.
Yeah. And so you launched Cool Fonts, and you use the networks that you have already, the 4 apps you have. You say, hey, go get Cool Fonts through a bunch of different ways of advertising in the app and push notifications and whatnot. And Cool Fonts was, as far as I know, your most successful app to date from just an install or download. Is that right?
Yeah, right now it's at about 1.7 million. And I did that getting it a couple times in the top 20 overall. The first time that I promoted it heavily, it went to number 8 in the US.
In the worldwide or the US App Store, which is it's unbelievable. Number 8, which means if you were ranking number 8 in the US, you were probably higher in a lot of other countries as well. So this thing got a tremendous amount of attention. And do you remember how many downloads you were getting a day when it was in that top 10, top 15?
Yeah, it was around 60 to 70,000.
That's incredible.
Per day.
Yeah.
Yeah. But again, like people think when you're up there, you make way more money, and not necessarily, because what I was telling you yesterday is that a lot of people that see apps in the top rankings for free apps, they're just curious about what the app does, and they're constantly checking the ranks to see what's new, but they don't have the intention to purchase anything.
So they just download it. Got it.
They're going to see what it is, they're going to play with it, and then they're going to go to the next new app that's in the rankings. But it's different if they search for something specifically it's kind of like Google, if you search for something, I want to buy this, and they have the intention to buy. Yeah. So I was getting way more downloads, but the revenue went up, but not proportionally. How do you say that?
That's perfect. Yeah. Okay. And I get it. The user's intent is different if they go and find it versus discovering it high. But at the end of the day, when it's high, you're probably going to get a whole lot of users that become customers that you didn't have without it being there. So it's definitely good. It just, they don't scale proportionally as to where it is more of a natural discovery. So, okay, I get it. So you launched...
There's a funny thing that I did there that didn't really work. And I think it's interesting to tell.
Yeah, let's hear it.
When I launched Cool Fonts, it had in-app purchases to purchase different fonts in the whole pack the get all the fonts for 70% off or whatever. And I also had the banner ads, the full screen banner ads, but I had them paused, like in the back end. I paused the ads so nobody would see them, in the hopes that Apple would see my app ranking up there and feature it some way. Because every week, every Thursday, I think it is, they do a selection. They have some editors that select the apps of the week or whatever. And if you can get your app featured, you get way more exposure and way more downloads. So I didn't want to put ads to not interfere with the user experience and everything. So maybe Apple would, see it and feature it as one of the coolest apps. So when it was getting 70,000 downloads, I was not, using ads, and Apple obviously didn't feature it, and I lost a lot of money that I could have made if I had the ads there.
Got it.
I was making, like, if I was making $100 in in-app purchases, I would make around $100 in in-app purchase. I mean, in
ad.
banner ad. So that's like half the revenue.
When it was at its highest traffic. Yeah. But that's a risk worth taking, I think.
No, it is.
Yeah.
No, it is.
Yeah. Interesting. Very interesting. Okay, so where are we now? We are in March. You launched this. By April, you've had over 500,000 installs or something like that. Is that right? Of that app. And then now your app network has grown. I mean, where are you at? I thought right after Cool Font launched, you were getting close to 4 million installs on all your apps cumulatively.
I think I'm around 6 million.
You're around
total.
6 million now. Okay,
Yeah.
but those couple million that you had prior to launching Cool Fonts was a huge part of that success because you were able to say you had a built-in audience already for your new app, which then shot you to the top of the charts, which then exposed you to a whole new audience, which then exposed them to all your other products that are showed up in display. This is unbelievable. So
And the cool thing about this is that you don't need to spend like a big budget like all the big companies. Like people are paying like $3-5 for a user to acquire users. Like I asked some companies, hey, can you promote my app and everything? And they gave me a quote for, okay, I can give you 20,000 users, but you have to pay $60,000. I'm like, what? I don't have $60,000 to
wow,
to get
yeah.
these users. And I could get that for free by just cross-promoting my apps. So that's why if you make small apps and get users for them and risk like no money at all.
Yeah, there's not much risk.
You want to promote your moneymaker, Cool Fonts is my moneymaker right now.
Right.
So you just use the traffic from all the other apps and you save all the money in advertising, like,
Dude, that's incredible. So between March and here we are in August, you've now, with your main 5 apps, which again are Cool Fonts, Emojizer, Symbolizer, Instalikes, and Textizer, you're close to 6 million installs now.
no, that's right now.
Yeah, I know. But in total now, you've got all these things out, and you did. I was going to get to kind of what's next, but you did launch a video game that you just didn't really care for when it was all said and done. Didn't do much promotion, and it kind of just lives out there and gets 3 downloads a day or something now, right?
One day I'll decide to update it, and I didn't do like a store for it, so I didn't see any monetization strategies for it. I just did it for myself to play myself and to see how I could do it.
That process.
It was interesting too because it was someone selling source code. Like there's people out there. There's marketplaces where you can buy apps already made, and you just have to change the graphics and change the music.
What is that marketplace?
Well, there's a bunch of them. I think there's one called sellmyapp.com, sellmyapplication.com. There's Apptopia, I think. I don't know. There's a bunch of them. It's easy. Just type iPhone app source code for sale on Google, and you'll get them.
Okay, cool. And
so I tried that. Like I found a game that was $80, I think, and I found another guy on Odesk. This time it was a guy from LA. I was in LA at that time. This guy's from LA, and he made the graphics. It was really cool, like pixel art, old school graphics for a game, just a guy jumping around for my game. And it cost me $300. So it was like $380 that I spent on my first game.
Oh, that's
And
nothing. Yeah, people don't
it
realize
did make
how.
its money back, but
Huh?
eventually it did make its money back, the game. But
It did.
I think it did, but I really never take anymore.
Very interesting. That's just such a good shortcut for anybody listening. And it's interesting to think iPhone app, being able to purchase an iPhone app source code and just have somebody do some graphics behind it and launch it. Very interesting. I've got a rather large platform that would make, building on an app pretty easy and getting it up. I'm actually working on an iPhone app, but it's a big deal, and it's been like 2 years in the making. And but this would be I should have thought of this a year ago and started building some stuff that are in the same niche around this. So I had a built-in audience to do that, because it wouldn't be very difficult for me to get something up pretty high. I think just using the existing audience that I have with social and in my email list and whatnot. So, okay, well, very cool. So, all right, what's next for you, man? I mean, I know we don't want to talk about how well you're doing, but just know that Alejandro is killing it, and I mean, just crushing it. And what's next for you? What are your plans going forward? What's the future look like for Alejandro Portela?
Well, I have an app that's already done, but I'm just waiting for more artwork. And I can tell you, it's a nail art game or app where you can it's for girls. Because, I told you my users are all girls between 14 and 16. And I'm always on Instagram, and I saw, or Pinterest, you always see those nail art designs with like cool little thingies. So I'm like, okay, I'm gonna make an app for this market, which is huge, and it's always getting a lot of attention, and it's design blogs and stuff. So I made one of those, and I think I'm gonna launch it in the next couple months and see how it does.
Oh, that's awesome.
But I also made it because I want the code for the app can be used for multiple different things.
Why? Because essentially it's a code that the app will take a picture of something and then superimpose an image on top of that, right? So I could take a picture of my hand and put fingernail polish on it, and then you could use that to take a picture of a dog and put a hat on the dog, or take a picture of somebody's feet and put shoes on their feet, right?
Yeah.
Okay.
Or you could take a photo of a car and put rims on it.
Yeah. Pimp my ride.
In my ride. So yeah, I'm gonna see how that does, and then like do apps for different niches, I guess.
I've downloaded some of those.
It's the same strategy that I use, like a cheap kind of app that I can repurpose in a way that doesn't cost me. It's not starting from scratch again. I have this base code, and I can just do a few tweaks and make a new app, put it in a different category or whatever. Just a risk-free.
Yeah, not much risk at all. So, well, dude, it's going to be fun to follow your journey, because, I mean, it's funny how in January of 2012, iPhone apps and creating iPhone apps weren't on your radar, and a year later, you're making more than most people make in a month in a real passive fashion, and now you're you're doing way better than that and killing it. And I think it's going to be interesting to see where you take this from here. How many employees do you have, Alejandro?
Well, I have a programmer in Ukraine. My first guy was from Russia, but now I have a guy in Ukraine, and his girlfriend is the designer of my apps right now. And well, then I have some friends that help me with graphics and ideas and stuff, but it's just friends.
But this guy in Ukraine, he's really essentially just a contractor, and you work with him as you need him, right? Okay, so you really don't have any employees, right?
Sorry?
You really don't have any employees, right?
No, not at all. It's just freelancers.
Yeah, got it. Okay, so what were you going to say? It's funny that you're going to meet him?
I'm going to meet him for the first time because I invited him. He wants to travel. Well, they both want to come to Spain and check out the beaches and stuff. So I offered my house, and I'm really stoked to meet them. Finally, after all this month working together, it's cool.
Oh, that's really cool.
Yeah.
That's really cool. Well, I mean, it's just, to me, you have one of the best stories that we've profiled here yet, and just a real good example of kind of a money pillow type business where you're making incredible revenue, you're making great money, you have very low stress, you have thousands of customers, but there's zero fulfillment on your end that you have to handle. Apple digitally fulfills all of the products. Did you hear that? Yeah. No, you're in a city in Spain. I get it. So we I think, which is also, I think, very cool. Yeah, we did have somebody in Central America. So you're one of the first over in Europe that we've interviewed. But
Cool.
So yeah, you've just got this business that I think is phenomenal. It's very low stress. You don't have to clock in and check out. You don't have to monitor much. I mean, it's really unbelievable to me what you've built, and I think it's going to be fascinating to see where you go from here, because the future for you, well, if the future is indicative of the past, I can't wait to do a follow-up interview a year from now, and that'll
be interesting.
Yeah, it is going to be interesting, isn't it? So, well, very cool, man. So Alejandro is a very private guy, and we probably won't say like where they can connect with you online, but I will say, I guess for you guys should all go check out Alejandro's apps if you want to see what he's done and what he's built. And again, those apps are called Cool Fonts, Emojizer, Symbolizer, Insta-Likes, and Textizer. And keep an eye out for Nailizer, which is coming. Is that what it's called?
No.
That's a horrible name.
I don't know yet. Think about it. I have more bigger ideas.
Cool nails.
Cool nails.
Cool nails. Instant nails.
Instant nails.
I'm kidding, but keep an eye out for that stuff. And actually, if you go get some of his other apps, I'm sure you will be notified when the nail art app comes out. And man, is there any advice I guess you could give to somebody? Because you're super humble and super quiet, and you're just doing amazing, which I think is amazing. But what advice, I guess, could you give somebody that's been, what has been one of the keys to your success? And I guess how could you relate that in advice to somebody who's listening?
Well, basically, start small and start now. Like, don't have a huge idea for an app like you.
I know.
Start with something stupid. I'm sure everyone that's listening, they're going to check out my apps. They're going to think, oh, this is stupid. I would never use it or whatever. But there's actually a lot of people out there in the world in different markets and niches that you can make something for them.
That they love.
Thousands. And it's so easy on the App Store to get ranked and get exposure. It's way easier than Google, I would say. It's instant. Like, if you have a website on Google and you want to change the rankings, you want to go to the first page or whatever, it takes time and you don't know how to do it, and you depend on Google to change their algorithm. Here is just whoever's the winner. It's kind of like being writing a book and being the bestseller. If you can get in the best-selling list, you get natural traffic there, all that.
Which is so valuable, yeah.
Just think of a stupid game or an app. Just the way I do it is you can just check what's working. You can go to the top rankings in the US or whatever, and just have ideas, maybe combine two things together. You can do a game that turns into a photo app, and I don't know.
There's a million ideas, yeah. But that's all great advice. Go check iTunes, and then if that were me, I would go look at Sell My App, or what was the other one? What was it? Apptopia. Yeah, Apptopia, and or just Google iPhone app source code for sales. See if you can find somebody selling the source code similar to what you're looking for. Go to Odesk, hire a coder.
Just go to Odesk and post a job. I want to do this app. It's very simple. I don't want to spend more than $500. I want to get it really quick and stress-free. Make your own graphics if you need to. Like if you're good with Photoshop, just do some easy things to cut costs. And if it doesn't work, just you lost $400.
It's not the end of the world. Yeah,
that's the money that you would normally spend on ads for whatever other business in a day.
Well, yeah, it's worth a shot. So, well, dude, very, very cool. on the website at themoneypillow.com. I'll post some links. I'll find some of these websites and link them up and put links to all of Alejandro's apps. So if you're listening and you want an easy way to check it out, go to themoneypillow.com and you'll see links to there. And I'll also put up there, I'll disclose Alejandro's real income numbers in full detail there so you can check it out. Just kidding, bro. You should see his face if you're listening in the interview. I'm just kidding. No, I respect your right to privacy. I think it's actually really cool because you're a humble dude, and I get it. So I'm real similar in that regard, and don't want people to know that I only make $3,000 a month, and just kidding. So anyway, all right, dude. Well, I don't know if you have any closing words, but again, I'll just
I'll just say that everyone listening should just give it a try, or if you have children, like tell them to do an app as soon as possible.
Oh, that's a great idea too, because here's the reality.
And they know more than us, you know.
Yeah.
I have to ask my sister and my brother for advice, and like everyone that I know, like, hey, what do you play? Whenever I meet a kid or something, someone introduces me to their kids, like, what are you playing on your phone, or what are you using right now? It's just curious to
learn from that. Yeah. Well, dude, again, thank you so much for coming on and agreeing to do this, and thank you for redoing it. And I really appreciate you. Yeah, I'm going to get this one out right away, and feel free to give me feedback in the iTunes store. Leave a rating, leave a review, and if you want to chat, I'm always on Twitter at Sean Malarkey. You can connect with me there, or leave comments on the blog. And if you have any questions for Alejandro, you can leave them there, and I'll let him know that there's a comment waiting. So again, brother, I appreciate you, and I really look forward to seeing your journey in the next year. There's no doubt in my mind that the sky's the limit for you, and things are nothing but going up for you. So that's it. Thanks again, man.
Thank you.
All right. See you, Ali.
Bye.